This is the snake room, also known as the office, and our cat who thinks it's a great place to hang out. So the first snake, I'm not going to do much with it, is the corn snake. Literally 25 or 26 years old, and just has been fine and good, but I find the boas more interesting, so we went ahead and got 2 boas. So this one's about a 2-year-old jungle stripe, and this is the girl. So let's just get her out. This is a cage I built just about 2 months ago as she started to get very large. It's 6 foot by 2 foot, so she's got plenty of room, and I've got a number of hides in there. Let's bring her out. My kids named her Nagini, so fine. She is pretty curious. Right now I'm just going to get her down into a Tupperware dish down here. See how she would want to go in. So I tend to feed her outside of the cage because she's a pretty aggressive feeder, and I feed the other snake inside the cage. So I'm feeding both of the boas large rats at this point. So they've been in this warm water for about an hour, and they're good to go. They're all defrosted. Last thing I'll do is just warm them up one last time. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and give the female her rat. I'm going to give her the slightly smaller of the two. And they're wet, which is fine. Gets them the moisture they need. So she should be pretty ready to feed. No, go on. A little better angle for us to see her feed. She's disappointing me. We'll just leave her in there with that one. So now we'll take a look at Pedro. Said Pedro's like a 3-year-old boy. He's pretty calm. Says, I'm out of here. So with Pedro, I just put the large rat right in his house because he needs peace and quiet to eat. And he'll take an hour or two and he'll come around and he'll feed on that rat. And that's a pretty large rat for him. And I've been trying to feed him once every week or 10 days consistently. And he's just a hypo, super hypo. So that's what we have for you today. It'll take a while for this program to get going. One thing kind of neat on this cage that I put together, like I said, it's 6 feet long. It's made out of plywood, but inside I actually put all LED lighting up top.
And then I have a radiant heat panel up there, which has been fantastic. And then that's the probe, and I have it set for 90 degrees. And then I just made this extra large hide, which is also like a platform where they can get warm, and then like a middle temperature hide. And then over here is more the cool side hide, and a pretty good thing of water so she can soak if she wants to. And then here's the Vivarium electronics controller that I have for this. The probe's reading 89 degrees, and the set point is at 90 degrees. So write me with any questions. I think boas are pretty reasonable to take care of, but just for instance, I just went to the herp show and bought what I would say is half a year's worth of food, so about 50 large rats and 25 mice, the mice for the corn snake, and that cost about $145. So just be ready for the costs involved in keeping boas. On Pedro? Mm-hmm. After leaving the girl alone for a little while, I lifted up the lid, and lo and behold, she's done it. So even though she wouldn't aggressively have a feeding response and strike it, she's now eaten a fairly good sized rat, and we'll let her finish that and then stick her up in her cage to digest it. Leave her alone for a couple of days. There she is, just going back in, but I want you to get a look at this great jungle stripe. Got a great tail, color-wise.